I just make a quick video. I've been thinking a lot about this today. I want to talk about surrender and what it means in terms of on a spiritual level. And Babaji had talked about, a long time ago, he talked about the disciple guru relationship in India and how it had been so bastardized, and they had used it as a way to control people. And basically you would go to a guru and you would take them as your guru, and then you would give that guru money, and you give them basically like a tithing system. And then this guru you were attached to them for life. So for better or worse, you were stuck with this guru. And so surrender has gotten a bad rap, I think, partly because of this. And a lot of people who come into a spiritual path, I saw this in Transcendental Meditation, where people would come in and just get this old googly gaga type of a thing with Maharishi, and I never could really relate to that. I couldn't understand that. And I had a hard time like with this notion of surrender. And not until I started doing Heartfulness, I started to understand that you're really just surrendering to love. So it's not a person you're surrendering to. It's not a personality that you're surrendering to. You're surrendering to love itself. And what's cool is you get a experience of this love when you start experiencing this love on the level of experience. And this is why Kamlesh talks about experience being so important, because until you've had that experience, it's impossible to really surrender. You're just surrendering to an aspect of your own self, or your own ego, or there's still a lot of attachment going on. But when you have a relationship with this godly energy, or this, you start to become more trusting, and you start to open your heart starts to open more, because you're receiving love. You become more able to let go and surrender. It's like having a friend, or trusting someone that you could call on this person, and they'd be there for you. And that's kind of where I wanted to talk from my personal experience, because I've been working on this idea of surrender this last couple months, because I went through an experience. I won't go into detail, but it really shook me up and brought back some old stuff, and brought up a lot of old stuff. And it was really amazing, because instead of getting caught up in all of it, I was able to step back from it and just realize that it was a process, and just process myself through it just by kind of observing as much as I could. And of course, I still had emotions, and still had feelings, and all these things come up. And but I realized immediately that it was, this is old stuff coming around again. And so I took it one step further, and not just observe it, but just surrender it. And it's almost like duck off of or water off of a duck's back. And when you've got that kind of concept of surrender, you can start with one thing, and then you can add things. And I can see where at some point in my life where I could be able to add everything. And right now I don't want to go in, it's kind of personal, the other stuff, but the thing I'm surrendering, have been working on this last little bit, is anger and frustration. And I made another video talking about this, but it's really working. I mean, it's kind of remarkable, actually. I've had a lot of issues with frustration and anger, and having this notion of being able to give this to someone else. It's someone that loves me so much that they would be willing to take this on, and being able to trust that it's going to be okay, because really frustration and anger and all that is just you're trying to control too much. And your ego is just grabbing on and grabbing on and grabbing on. And being able to just let go of these things has been a real blessing for me. And I'm still working on it, obviously. And yesterday I had kind of a rough patch. I kind of fell into a little frustration and a little bit of stuff, but I was able to kind of, reel myself back from it just a little bit more than I have in the past. And the thing is, too, you have to understand certain situations, certain people are going to pull that out of you. They're going to pull it out every time. And you're going to be like, what's going on? Why is it got to be so hard with this person? But it's because that person it's like I talked about in my video I made earlier about Boga, that person is delivering experience to you. They are delivering you a gift. It's hard to believe, but they're delivering you a gift. Now, I say this is a gift, but anytime you're in an abusive relationship, that's not acceptable. And you have to extricate yourself from that immediately. And that's like a fight or flight thing. That's like escape or die. If you're in a situation where you're being abused physically, or even emotionally and mentally, you need to get out. And so I'm not talking about that. That's not what Boga is. That's not what experience. That doesn't mean you look at someone and go, oh, they're, this guy, he beats his wife and she, she's just getting Boga. She's getting experience. No. That's totally unacceptable. And it can't be tolerated. So I just want to make that really clear, because I think that people can start to get real callous about things, and they can think that they understand the concept, and then they can just apply it generically to everything. And we're not talking about we're talking about refinement. We're not talking about life and death. When your physical body's in danger, fight or flight. It's ugly. Adrenaline. You run from the bear, you run from the predator, you run from the, or you fight, but you don't sit there and take it because you feel like it's something you deserve. And anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But surrender, just thought I'd put it out there, just a concept that has really been helping me. And I attribute it to heartfulness, because I don't think I would have had these realizations without it. I mean, I studied this stuff, the whole, guru thing and disciple thing. And I tried to be, a good follower and a good practitioner and all these things. And I really felt like I failed. And heartfulness is coming at a different angle. It's coming at the level of love. And that is something that is universal. Like, everybody understands love. And it's different, so anyway, I just thought I'd put that out there, surrendering and what it really means. And it's not a bad thing, and it's a really liberating thing ultimately. But like I say, I'll keep you posted. I'm working on a couple different things at this moment, and then I can see it, kind of snowballing into other things. And pretty soon, your whole life just becomes this kind of like you're just sitting back and just, going along for the ride. It's more relaxing, more enjoyable. It's kind of like having someone drive you, and instead of having to worry about, how the speed limit and police and pulling you over, and you can just sit and enjoy the scenery. And I kind of look at it like that. It's not abdicating responsibility either. That's another thing that needs to be a point that needs to be made. It's not abdicating responsibility. You're taking responsibility for your actions, but it's a way for you to be able to step back away from it and not be so engaged, to attain a level of healthy detachment, so you can be, just, a more spiritual, more godly person. Anyway, hope you have a good night.